Hello, welcome. We're live again. Once again, SprueCast podcast. We've not been here. We weren't here last week, I don't think. Can't remember why, but wasn't here last week for some reason. Something must have happened. But anyway, we're back. And this week we are going to be looking at clear parts. We're going to be looking at how we can glue them, how we can clean them, how we can remove scratches from them, how we can remove paint from them. Loads of little things like that. We're not going to be looking at putting the tape on them, masking them this week, because that's obviously going to be a whole thing on its own when it comes to masking. But we will be covering masking because obviously there's fluids and tapes and stuff, and we'll look into that in the future. As usual, we've got what we've been working on first. We'll have a look at that. Anything we've bought, things like that, and we'll kick off straight away. Who wants to go first this week?
Josh, what do you got? You working on that car?
So I haven't had much time, but the smoke cleared up. So this is kind of, I put some of the decals on the Charger. Some of them turned out really, really good. That one, the black part of that, I didn't cut it right. So there's not a crisp line in some of the spots. License plate. Let's see. I think it's this way. I think that the back panel on that one, I got to do a number 2 on the micro saw again on that one. And then I put the decal on the hood. So, front bumper too. I put a small decal on that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the only thing I've been working on.
Can I ask what color that is?
Huh?
Sorry.
What was that?
The color. What color is it?
Can I ask what color that is?
It's the Createx Wicked Orange.
All right, Createx. We can't get that over here, I don't think. Can we, Gordon? Can we get that in the UK?
No, I don't think so.
I think
No,
the only way you could get it is, I think, ordering it online, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oregon's had a bunch of fires, so I've only been able to be at the bench the last 2 weeks, just yesterday. So oh my gosh. It's been crazy. So that's basically all I have. I did buy a couple things, but I don't know if we're going to do that yet. So
yeah, bring them up.
So I got 2 Gundams.
Nice.
I don't know. The wing part of that one is why I got that one. I mean, that's going to look really cool, I think. And then I got this one too. I think I only paid like $20 for both of these.
Special Operations Mobile. EFSF. What's that stand for? Special Forces. Summit Special Forces.
I don't speak Japanese, so I'm not sure. And it doesn't really say.
Bandai. Nice kits, then, Bandai kits.
Yeah, my grandson loves building them. He loves
them. Yeah, I love Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby got Gundams now, so I'll be picking up some of those.
Yeah, use that 40% coupon, man.
Well, that's how I got both those for $20.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Gil.
Yes, sir.
As if we don't know.
Well, this week, just tidying up certain things that I had to ship out. But the other day, the guys were messing with me, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do because I just finished up some stuff that I needed, some commission work. So I pulled out the old tank. The what the fuck is that?
Bradley.
No, this King Tiger. This thing
Ah.
here. This
Whoa, King Tiger.
Wait, did you cut it?
No, I'm not going to cut it, and I'm not going to do the interior either. I'm just going to glue it together and paint it. It just every time I touch that thing, I break parts off of it. So,
That sucks, dude.
yeah, I got to the point where I got aggravated, and I said, you know what? I've got too much money invested in it, as far as like aftermarket, that I'm just going to go ahead and put it together, and then we'll see. I mean, I started painting the interior, but we'll see. I mean, I might change my mind in a month or so. That's a super long-term project for me. But I pulled out this kid here. This Camaro Z28. It's a 68 Camaro, but it's a AMT. It's a repop. I pulled this out a while ago, but the frame was warped. I mean, warped badly. And I had to work it and heat it, work it and heat it. I finally got it to where it's straight. So I took the body, sanded it down, buffed it, sanded it, got any flashing that was on it, any grooves, anything on it, from the molding. And then I primed it and painted it. And I used Tester's Brilliant Black, and I decanted it. And there's here, let me switch my camera so you guys can see it. There we go. I decanted and then I wet sanded it a little bit. There wasn't a lot of work to be done on it. There was maybe a spot here that that was a little goober, and I think there was one over here, right by where the lettering is. It built up just a little bit there, and I had to go in there and sand it down. But there's no clear on this. This is just
I was about to say, yeah, no.
It's just polished out. And then I got the hood here. I had to reshoot that. I dropped it when I was painting it, and then I messed it all up. So I had to clear it off, resand it, do everything. And I shot this. Excuse me. Excuse me. I shot this straight out of the can. And if there's time later on, we'll talk about all that. But there's a big difference between this out of an airbrush and this out of a can. So that's what I've been working on. Just that. Just later on today, I'll wet sand that because that needs a little work. I'll wet sand that, and I'll get it all. I'll clear it all, and then polish it, and then But that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, we are going to be doing a dedicated episode on sanding and finishing when it comes to cars and stuff like that. When you want a perfect finish, we will definitely be doing an episode on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's guys that are much better at it than I am. They've been doing it, these cars for a long time.
Yeah.
But you still have the basics that you have to know. And I did automotive work, many years ago. So I still remember how to sand, I'm a painter by, so I know how to paint. But the sanding is where the you have to be very careful, And we can talk about that, some other time. But the prep work, the wet sanding, what kind of clears to use. I know a lot of guys love to use Future. It's not. You're never going to get a showroom glass finish with Future. It's never going to happen.
But, no, you're not.
No,
and
it's okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can hit everything you do. You could get the wet sanding perfect. You could get the spraying perfect. But if you get one of the elements wrong, out of in the process, it will destroy everything you've done.
Oh yeah.
Because I've done it myself. I've had such a perfect finish. I thought it's absolutely brilliant, and then I've just slightly pressed down too hard with the sanding, or something like that, and it's just ruined it. You've really got to be focused 100% when you.
Yeah, especially like on automobiles with all the curves and stuff on there.
Yeah,
I don't care what paint you use. You can use a urethane, a lacquer, whatever. You start getting on like the fenders, on the high points of the fenders, and if you rub a little bit too hard, you're going to peel that paint off.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen on cars too. How about it, Gordon? I've seen it. I've seen it happen on cars, on motorcycle tanks. You get too close with you get too aggressive on those curves with that sandpaper, you burn it right off.
Yeah. And then you're looking at a respray to
Now
get
you
it.
got to respray, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to burn through something, especially same as you say, Gil, on a high spot. If you're not paying 100% attention to it when you're doing it, you've only got to clip it with your corner of your finger or something like that, or your thumb. That's it. Strip it, start again.
Yeah, especially if you got no clear on it.
Yeah,
If you're just doing the body to get it smooth before the clear.
yeah.
And you clip it the wrong way, you take it off. You all that work because now you got to respray the thing, and then you got to hope that you can match it. So you don't have a high point. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
This is it. In the past, when I was doing all of the motorbike tanks and stuff, the tanks aren't much of a problem. The biggest problem that I had, the biggest learning curve, was doing the side panels.
Yeah.
Right. And you'd be rubbing away, you'd have a corner or a bit of a ridge, and you weren't paying attention, and you go, oh, I've done a good job of that. Then you catch it in the light, and you see a grey line down the top.
Yeah. I used to have, so when my wife's uncles, they owned body shops, so they taught me how to do all that. Oh, geez, back in the early 80s. But I know when I did motorcycles, the fairings, like the fairings on the Harley Davidsons, the front fairing, you had to be very careful because of all the curves and stuff in there. And then you get around the lights, the headlight.
Yeah.
There's a sharp edge right around there. And if you weren't careful, whoop, and you're like, shit, I got to repaint this now,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you two are in a completely different realm to me. I've never been a body sprayer. I've only ever painted models. I've been fortunate that I've had the advice of a professional body sprayer, and he basically taught me how to spray stuff. But I'm in no doubt that I just learned what I needed to get through. Your best bet if you do know somebody that sprays cars and you're into, you're getting interested in modeling, definitely go and speak to them, and they will.
Well, there's a lot of guys that I know that build model cars that do one-to-one cars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over YouTube, and most of them will tell you, man. They'll tell you what grits of paper to get. What to wet it, how to prepare stuff. It's just patience. That's all it is. It's patience, and then you got to learn not to have a heavy hand when you're saying. You can press down too hard. The paper do that topic. Another show. We can get into that later in another show if you want. So, how about you, Gordon? What you been working on, buddy?
Yeah, so let's go on to Gordon.
Oh, look at that. That's looking tasty there. That's looking tasty, mate.
Almost looks like a bowling diagram.
Yeah. I've got all the bombs plumbed up, wide up, bomb graffiti on.
That looks really nice, Gordon. That looks really nice. You did it.
Every week we see that, I don't think it can get any better. And the following week, you bring it up again, and I think, where the hell's he pulled that out from?
And that looks really good.
Yeah, and talking of clear parts, I've polished and coated the canopy.
Yeah. Well, that's buggered my bit up, isn't it?
That's really nice. Looks really good.
It's damn good.
But
very good.
Yeah.
Very good, Gordon.
That's what I've been working on, and I've got one or two purchases. That for one.
Ooh, that's in a white box. Now, isn't that a pre? What is it when they come out in them white boxes? They're not actually out yet.
This is a special edition, right? That Tamia was linking in with a guy that's restored a P38, and it was going to be at its first air show in the States. And because of COVID, the air show hasn't gone ahead, but they've still got all these kits.
Right.
So basically, it's the Tamiya P38.
Wow, yeah. I hear that's a really nice kit too.
What scale is that?
148.
There's a lot of plastic in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Damn, look at that side profile there where it just looks like a...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a beautiful airplane. I always like that airplane.
But, yeah, I've got that. And
You can really go to hate some people, can't you?
I got one or two, well, I got 3 bargains, actually.
Hate them even more over time.
Bubble top.
That's the XV. That's 6. Is that 16 or 4?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, that's 16.
Nice.
Right, got that one. The pointy wingtip one.
Mark 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got the pointy wingtips for the high altitude.
Nice.
And a standard Mark 9.
Nice.
When can I just ask, when did they stop making Spitfires? Because there's a lot of Spitfires. When did they actually stop making them?
50s. It was sometime in the 50s, wasn't it? 54, 55, somewhere around there?
I'm going to say, I think the last of them was the 22, the 24.
Isn't that 58?
I'm going to say it was in around about the 50s and stuff, till mid to late 50s that the last of them came out. But the one I've been after for a bit's been this one.
Oh,
What is that?
you bugger! That's great.
Southern.
Yes, that's a nice kit.
Yeah, that's going to be a future review on the show.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. Sorry, was that the short Sunderland there?
Yeah, it's a short Sunderland. It's the this one's the Mark III.
Oh, it's a beautiful plane, that.
So this is the actual wartime one.
Yeah.
And the one that Special Hobby did before was the Mark V, which came out right at the end of the Second World War and stuff, because it had got blisters under the wings for the radar.
Yeah.
But this is the wartime one, because what I'm going to do is do a kit review on this. And I've actually got the Italeri Mark III as well. So what I was going to do was to do a direct comparison between this one and the Italeri one.
Oh, that'd be good.
So we could do a kit review on that one, and then at a later date, I can do a direct comparison between the 2 kits.
Nice.
Yeah, the short Sunderland has been a favourite of mine for a long time.
I like the Sunderland, and I like the PBY Catalina as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But just having a look on it, well, I haven't even opened it as such yet, but the looking at the panel lines and stuff on this, they're a lot finer.
Is that the fuselage I'm seeing there, or the wing? Look at the size of that. Oh.
Well, that's a fuselage.
Yeah, and that is... Damn.
Them are your 2 wings.
Damn you, Gordon.
But I ain't going to spoil it.
That's a nice kit. Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, that's. I thought, because there's been quite a few people commented about the new Sunderland and stuff. I thought, well, there's the old Airfix one, which back in the day it was the only one that you could get, and it's a bit old in the tooth now. And then Italeri brought out the Mark 1 and then the Mark 3.
Yeah.
And Special Hobby brought out the Mark 5 first, then they brought out the Mark 3. But if you know your Sunderlands, right, you can buy a Mark 5 or the Mark 3, and all the parts are in there to do a Mark 1 as well. It's quite clever how they've moulded it. So you just change the keel on the bottom from a rounded one to a straight one.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite clever how it's been done. But I'll when I do the review on it, I'll see if I can find the Mark 5 instructions and can show you. But I can show you most of it out of that kit anyway. But yeah, that's my stash for this week.
Excellent. So we're on to me then. I haven't bought anything new this week, but so we've had a buddy build going. Me, Bob, Gordon. It's just the three of us, isn't it, Gordon?
Yeah.
And we all invested in Connect. Well, me and Bob got Kinetic 1/48 scale intruders, A6 intruders. Gordon got the same, but he got, what was it?
The Hobby Boss one.
He got the Hobby Boss one, yeah. So I've been working on that, and I'm quite. It's sort of mixed opinions. I'm pleased with how it's coming.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
What? Sorry about what? I missed.
Oh no, I hit I got the football game playing off in the back here, and I hit.
Oh right, don't worry about it.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that.
Now, which one is that one there? That's the intruder.
This is the Kinetic in 1/48 intruder.
Is that the one that was driving you crazy?
Yeah. This has been an absolute immense pain in the arse, but I have thoroughly enjoyed the challenge of building it.
Nice. I love that plane.
It has required so much. In many respects, it's been like a puzzle. It's required so much doing to it. There's been parts that are labelled incorrectly. There's been parts that have got no apparent place to go, and then the kit comes, and for some reason there's two complete canopies in there, which makes no sense, and it's just bizarre.
Wait, that's the kit that has two different interiors too, right?
Yeah, two complete canopies inside, two cockpits, and I've just done so much. I'm really pleased with it. So out of all of us, I'm the only one that decided to venture and do the folded wings.
I like that.
And it was more a fact that I had to prove to myself that I could do it. I've never done a folded wing kit, and this comes with the option to fold the wings, and I just had to prove to myself that I could fold them. It's quite a challenge because you've got to saw stuff up, you basically tear stuff in half, and it's just really weird to sort of purposely break a new kit. But I've enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed it, and that's where I'm at the moment. So there's a lot still to go. I haven't really bought anything. No, nothing. Bought nothing new. We did get both myself and Bob, who is also in on the build. we got the external photo etch for the A6. That has been interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
So, Mark, did you get a chance to go check out Xanax the other day?
Xanax.
The new file that came out this week? I know you were, you know.
No, I haven't, because my 3D printer's packed up. I've got no screen on it. I've got to buy a new screen, so I haven't really been downloading any files. I know he's got a beast, hasn't he?
Yeah,
beast.
that might be his best file yet.
Really, I haven't looked at it, so maybe I should download it then before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really need to get a new screen ordered. They're not that dear. It's just, when you haven't got a lot of money, even a little bit of money's a lot. So anyway, there we go. And that's as far as I've got at the moment. So I'll bring us all back up. Where are we? There we are. And we will just something I wanted to bring up before we go any further. Let me just look at my notes quickly. Hobby Link International, I just wanted to mention they've just passed 3,000 subscribers. I say just, in the past few days, I think. And they're holding a giveaway if you're a member. So go sign up with Hobby Link International. And if you go onto the YouTube link and say that you're interested, you're in, you stand a chance of winning some paints. I can't remember what the first prize is. Second and third prize is some paints from Sabre.
Second and third prize are the paint sets.
Yeah.
Second and third. And the first prize is the new Discovery Enterprise.
Oh, right. Okay. I've got no affiliation with Hobby Link at all, other than I like Kenny. He's a good guy. He's a really nice bloke, and I'll give anyone a plug if
Yeah.
And we still want him to come on the podcast. Just
so you've not been on the podcast yet. I know, right?
No, he's still rebuilding his house, Mark.
Yeah, you'll have a hard time getting him right now. He's building that house. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will just say that has no bearing on this. It's anyway. There we go. Yeah. So go along to Hobby Link and get yourself into the competition. While I'm at it, where everyone in here's got their own channel. Gil's on. Did you say you're on twice every other week now?
No. I was doing the vlog every week. I'm going to start doing it every 2 weeks. The vlog because, well, number one, I mean, I've got personal things I do, and usually they always hit me on the weekend. So
yeah.
So that, but and then every now and then I'll put something up. I don't post like I used to, but I have to start doing it again.
Yeah.
Even like with stuff like this, because when I do a car, people are like, "You're doing a car?" They get because everybody thinks I'm just a figure painter. They don't realize I do it. Unless you know who I am, they don't realize I do it.
Yeah, I get it. People that don't know.
Know. What have you been seeing from me the last 2.5 years, 3 years? Figures.
Yeah, but I know you do other stuff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And there's a tank too.
Yeah. And,
it's going to get done. It's going to get done. It's just not going to get done the way I said I was going to do it.
And Josh has his own channel as well, I believe. Josh.
Yeah, I've been doing YouTube for a long time now. I think I've even got like 300 videos up now. But I'm gonna try to start streaming every Friday, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. So, and we're still trying to figure out my son's school schedule because we still haven't heard what days he's actually going into school and what days he's going to be home. So that might change too after a while. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my channel at the moment.
Yeah. So, Gordon, you don't have a channel. You have got a channel, but you don't actively.
I haven't got a channel, but I've got no content up on it, not yet.
Yeah. Okay. So that's coming.
So wait, Gordon. When you go on to Mark's page and you hit select or save file, you can put that into your channel, so it's something that comes up. I don't know if you knew or not.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we've been talking about it in the Hangouts, and I went out on the bike today, and I ended up out at the local airport, and got talking to a guy that does YouTube videos, and I'm going to give him a shout out, and it's Airshow World, right? It's the Stu, right? And I spent the afternoon with him filming at the airport.
nice.
Right, and he's off to RF Coningsby tomorrow to do some filming there. And we was talking to him, and we were on about YouTube and stuff. And he says, "Yeah," he says, "You've got 26 subs." He says, "But you've got no content." And when I explained to him about the problems I've got at the minute, he says, "Yes, I can understand why you've not put anything up, not yet."
Yeah. But we'll always support you, Gordon. Whatever you decide, you've always got 100% support from both me. I will always support you, Gordon, and the channel. Any channels that I'm affiliated with will always give you a shout out. You're just a great guy, and I will always help you in any way I can.
Yeah.
So with that, we will move on to the topic. So this is something I came across a couple of weeks ago, and it's cleaning parts for clear parts for canopies and such like. And there's a few things that I wanted to address. So firstly, I just want to show you that this part is quite badly, if I can reach up there, but it's quite badly scratched, and it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
And so I intend to try and demonstrate how we can bring that back. Now, there's a few ways of doing this. Number one, you could just dip this in like a gauzy or a future. Now, I have used this before. It does work to a certain degree. But what you've got to be aware of, if ever you sand or anything abrasive comes into contact with it, it's like a skin. It just peels off. So the slightest nick on it, and you will have to peel the whole lot off and start again. I don't know if that's the same with future. I know it's the same with gauzy because I've had it happen. Did somebody else say there it was with future?
I've never had it happen with future, but I've had it happen with gauzy.
Yeah, I think maybe that's I've yet to experience it with future. So I'm not too sure whether it's the case or not. But definitely with gauzy, if you dip this and then you catch it on anything, it's like a skin. If you think of it like the glue you had when you was a kid and you got it over your hands and it would just peel off, it's a bit like that. So another method is to sand, and that's the method we're gonna demonstrate tonight, God willing. So tonight I'm using a range of different sanders. I've just basically got what I can together. And I normally start with a 1500 Tamiya grade sanding paper. And I'm literally just lightly going to brush that over the top.
Hey, Mark, put your camera down so we can see.
Oh, sorry. In fact, I'm going to move the camera. Just give me a second while I try and get a better angle. So that, let me move. Can you still hear me on that microphone?
Yeah.
In fact, then that's great. Let me stand that there, so we got a better view there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as long as I don't move my arms up. So I'm literally just going to give it a very light sand over the top. What you've got to bear in mind is that I'm only sanding one side of this. If I was to be sanding another side, we'd get much better results. So I don't think we've got time to do both sides. You need to be careful of the flexibility in the canopy. It will crack. They're not that strong. So one thing you can do is pack it out with blue tack. I should be, in reality, my apologies, I should be using some sort of liquid water and just wet sanding, because you get much better result.
I was going to say, I usually take those really large Crayola markers, the really, really big ones, and I'll just put a piece of tape on it and hold the marker. That's how I usually have to do it, because I work with steel, so if something that thin, I just snap it.
So then I'm going to go through the different grits on these. I'm already at 1,500, so I'm not going to use the orange because this is flexi-foil paper. And this is, so the orange is 1,000. I'm not going to use the blue because that is 1,500, which I've just used, which is the Tamiya stuff. It says on the back there 1,500. Instead, what I'm going to do is go to, I think, just bear with me. I had, yeah, here it is. So I've got some 2,000 Tamiya. Again, a little bit of water on that. And we're just sort of going to very, very gently rub down the surface of now please bear in mind while you're watching this that this is something I would normally do over an hour or two. I'm really just
giving you the hints, the highlights.
Yeah, I'm just really trying to not get it as clean as I can in as short amount of time as possible. And then we're going to come to the aqua on the flexi-foil. Now we're looking here at a jump from 2,000 to 6,000 grit, again with some water. And you just want to very lightly. You don't want to be pushing down on this. You don't want to be pressing down because you're going to defeat the object. And I sort of alternate between just gently pushing backwards and forwards and then circular motion all the way across, nice and even. Don't let it dry out at all. Just keep going.
Don't stick to one spot. Move over the whole area.
No, Gordon's, yeah, absolutely correct. Don't stick to one spot because you'll end up with, marks everywhere. Keep on moving. And so that's that one. And then we'll move on to, now this would normally be the final sandpaper one for me. And this is the yellow one in FlexiFile. It's 10,000 grit. Again, watered down, some water on it. Keep on moving. Try and keep less pressure. You don't want too much pressure on the surface.
The ideal weight. This is it. The ideal weight with that is like Gil was saying earlier on, right? The lightest possible pressure.
Yeah, let the paper do the work.
Same as Gil said. The lightest possible pressure. Let the paper do the work, right? You're using water to keep the grit out from pooling up underneath it. Because if you do it dry, you can get the stuff beading up underneath, and you get hot spots and stuff.
Yeah, you'll scratch it all up too. Yeah.
And with the water, it's keeping the area clean where you're trying to work. But the same as Mark says, this would be like an evening session to do it properly. It's like the tornado canopy that I'll flip up in a minute when Mark's done. Right. Mark's using the micro mesh and the FlexiFile stuff, right? My tornado canopy, I use the liquid colour cuts, like you use on your car, right?
Yeah, plastics, stuff like that. There, yeah,
and that's what I did. I've got, I think I've got about a dozen different grit polishing wheels for my props on, right? And it's the same with that, right? You've got to have that on a really low revolution, because if you've got it spinning too fast, you burn through it.
So you can already, at this stage, you can already feel a difference on the canopy. It's much smoother. You can feel that there's less, there's less damage to the surface. And here I'm going to go in. This one is this one's a floory one, but ISM do them as well. UMP, sorry, and you just go over the. It's like a buffing.
buffing stick.
Yeah, buffing stick.
Yeah, if you can't get any of them that Mark's using there from your local model shop or anything, go into a supermarket.
Yeah,
and go down the aisle where the ladies' nail varnishes and stuff are.
That's basically all it is.
Yeah,
it's a nail buffing stick.
Yeah.
And you can see already, I mean, when you compare it to the first one we went through, it was we got like a misty finish on that you couldn't see through.
Yeah,
and already you can see that it's not going to look great at the moment because I haven't done the inside. But we're getting there, and I've still got a few steps yet to go. Just keep buffing for as much as you can, and like I say, this normally would be done over the course of an evening. You wouldn't do it this quick. It's in fact, this will be the first time I've done a canopy in such a short space of time.
Yeah, you're going to have fun with your intruder canopy.
I've already done most of it.
Yeah.
So off to one side. So then when I get it down to that stage, so when it's been buffed, and let me get my hand out of the way. So when it's been buffed, you can already see that there's a massive improvement on what it was. And then for me, once I've reached that stage, it's time to get the Tamiya polishing compounds out.
So instead of that, could you use like automotive compound, right?
Yeah, that's what I used on mine, Josh.
Okay.
Bear with me while I get that. Don't want to put that on. That's glue.
No, you don't want to go polishing it with glue, Mark.
Oh,
Hey,
come on, Gordon. Let him do it. Come on.
hey, I'll tell you about an incident one night in one of the hangout shower, right? There was Mark deckling away and water had evaporated and he topped his little tub up with what he thought was water. No, it was lacquer thinners. And he put his decal in and then wondered why it disintegrated.
Yeah, he's right. I actually was putting decals on, and I put blinking. It was self-leveling thinner.
Yeah, Mark has a habit of decanting his big bottles into these little squirty bottles.
Yeah,
He picked the wrong one up. Yeah, them. And he picked the one up and got self-leveling thinner in it instead of water. Topped his little tin up, put his decal in, he just vanished. He dissolved in front of your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, the best thing was I didn't notice straight away. I dipped it in because I normally just use warm water. I dip them in and I, give it about 10 seconds, 5 or 10 seconds, then take it out. So I'd done that. I put it on the side, and then I went to put it on the aeroplane, and the thing just disintegrated. And of course, it was an old kit, so I blamed the naff decal. And I'd put another lot in. And this went on for about 3 or 4 pieces before I realised that it was self-leveling thinner that was in there. And I think, if I remember correctly, the only reason I realised was the tub that the liquid was in started to melt.
Yeah.
But there you go. So I've gone on to the Tamiya compounds now. First one I've put on is the red one, and this is coarse. Yeah, that's the coarse one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, I'd spend a bit more time on it, but so that's the coarse one on, and already it's starting to get a bit clearer. And then we change cloths because with the Tamiya, when you buy the set of polishing compounds, you get the cloths with it. It is quite dear though. I think it's about 20, 25 quid, something like that, for the cloths and the polishing compound.
Yeah, that's why I use car stuff.
Yeah. I've not used car stuff, I'll be honest. This is just
well, I can buy a litre of cut for about 6 quid. So for 15, 16, 17 quid, I can get 3 litres and it'll last me for years.
Again, the thing to watch when you're doing this, when you're polishing these, is you tend to don't realise how much you're gripping that canopy there. And you sort of tend to start pushing more and more on it. And with the friction of cleaning it, you will crack it.
I've cracked loads of canopies, Mark, in the past by not holding it properly.
Yeah.
And just I want to get that little bit in the corner done, and you're just squeezing that little bit too much, it goes twang in your fingers, you go crap.
Yeah. It's exact. You've got to be so careful with them. They are so easily cracked. They're quite strong, to just handle what you're doing, with your modeling. But once you start polishing them up, they can become they're sort of brittle even. And we just put, now this is, so I've just put the fine one on. which is the blue. And now I'm putting the final one, which is the white, and this is classed as finish. So we're getting that. You just got to keep moving and circular motions, and then just. Oh,
I was gonna say, did he just break it?
So there we go. I mean, again, I can't emphasize enough that this normally is done over a much longer period.
Yeah.
And I've only done one side. I haven't done the underside, but if you just look at the difference that has made.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you consider when we first started with the 1500, this was completely misty. You rubbed all the shine off it, and it was. But now that has made a massive improvement.
Yep.
I just want to say that this canopy is actually two parts that are glued together. The horrible line in the middle there that you see, that join line, that is Humbrol clear that's gone in there. That's what that's glued together with. So that's the sort of effect you'll get. You really need to be careful with that. Having said that, it's very strong. So I'm really quite pleased with how that's come out compared to earlier. You can see that most of them surface marks have gone on the top. They're not going to be gone underneath, obviously, and that's what you're going to see in the picture there. But very, very pleased with how that's turned out. So there's that.
So, Gordon, I have a question. Would you be better off starting with the inside of that or the outside of that first?
It depends.
I would go with the inside personally, and then
that,
do
that canopy's off the Phantom, right? And it's like this canopy I've got off my Tornado, right? I did the inside first.
Bear with me, Gordon, while I bring you up. There you go.
See, let's go for that for a start. All right. See how clear that is.
Yeah.
All right. And this has been done with T-cut, car polish and finish. All right. And when I did it, I started with the inside first. Right. Wearing rubber gloves. Or if you want to do this sort of stuff, wear your rubber gloves.
Yeah,
at least on one hand.
You don't want to get the
right
hand on it.
Yep. And I did the inside first, right? And then just held it by the edges like I've got it there. And then did the outside. Because if you do the outside first and then you decide to do the inside, you risk scratching it and dinging it and stuff. Well, that
nice.
You can see how clear it's come up.
Oh, wow.
And that canopy was as foggy and as cloudy as that one that Mark's just had. But with doing that, how Mark's done that, if you take your time and do it over a period of time, well, that's what you can actually come out with. Crystal clear canopy.
Yeah. I mean, don't underestimate that. I've literally condensed about.
Yeah.
I've condensed about 3 hours work into 5-10 minutes.
Well, this is it. If you flick it back on a sec, Mark.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's the clouds that you can see under the canopy, right? And that's by doing exactly the same sort of thing as Mark's done. If you want to flip it back, Mark.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly using the same sort of techniques as Mark's been using, right? But over a longer period of time. Right. Basically, what Mark's tried to do is try to condense it and do it into like a potted 5-10 minute snippet to give you the idea of how to do it. But same as he says, he's got a few dings on it on the inside. Work on the inside and do the same thing again, and it'll polish out. And it's the same with doing car windscreens and car.
Oh yeah, definitely. It applies throughout. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so moving on from that, I wanted to touch on gluing as well. Now then, when it comes to canopies, there are mainly 3 types of glue you can use. There's the crystal clear glues, there's the PVA glues, and then there's the TEP. Now, some people will say that you cannot use TEP on a clear car. And to a degree, they're correct. If you're careful, you can use it. But you do risk damaging the canopy if you get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got examples of how it goes wrong.
Oh, yeah, we've all got examples of that.
I think everybody has, Josh.
But basically, if you've got, I really haven't got a kit. I was hoping to have a kit ready to actually do the demonstration. But if you literally just have your canopy sat down on the plastic, and you just touch the line between the two, you will see the TEP flood along the line. Now, when I say flood, you haven't got to have a brush so full with TEP that it's going to drip off the minute you don't want it like that. You can see there's bear with me if I can get it. There's too much there. See it? It's making a bulbous drop on the end. That's way too much. You just dip it, brush the end off, and then touch the join, and you will see the TEP flood along. My best advice would be to practice before you actually do it on anything that's of importance to you.
The best advice with that, less is more.
Yeah, you've really got to be careful. And my only other tip that I can give you tonight is one of now I found this out myself. I don't know whether many people know about this, but in this bottle is Mr. Colour self-leveling, and many people will say that it's not good with clear parts. But if you've got some paint on, I do believe that this is the stuff you can use to remove it. So I could end up looking a complete tit here, but here it goes. This is, so that is self-leveling thinner on that cotton bud there. And I'm just going to brush it over the surface of this clear part. So I've brushed it all over that, all over the surface, literally covered that. So by rights, that should completely go foggy, and there you go. If you've got any paint or anything on your canopy, use self-leveling thinner on a cotton bud and you will get it off. I will add as a caveat to that, before you use it on your canopy, get a bit of sprue from the kit that you're working on, and apply some to that first, so that if there is a problem, you'll spot it before you end up going and wallpaper pastering your blinking canopy. And that's all I've really got that I can offer on terms of crystal parts. I'm going to open it up now to everyone else. What do you all say? Have you got any tips, advice?
So I've been using this stuff. This is what I've been using lately. It's the evergreen, the styrene stuff.
Yeah, I've heard you say about this.
This stuff, I use this stuff, and then there's only one other thing I've used, but I don't use it very often because you have to use a brush. But it's the weld-on stuff.
For what? For clear parts?
The Adam Savage glue.
I've never seen that before.
Are you talking about for clear part, to glue clear parts like your windshield?
Yeah. I don't use it a lot because
I'm gonna show you what I use, guys. And I don't use glue. Sorry, I was while you were doing it, I was wet sanding there watching you, but I was also sorry. I did this years ago, and this is what you're going to see in this bottle. It's probably about 6 years old. This stuff right here. Now this is Future. I put some Future in here. Left the cap open. Yep, where we at? Right there. Left the cap open and let it sit for about a week, and it gelled up. It became a gel. Then, and I forget where I saw this. It might have been Dr. Cranky. I don't know.
I think that's a Don Yost thing, right?
No, this is Dr. Cranky. I got it from. I don't know about Don Yost because I don't watch him.
Oh.
But you see that? You see that?
Yeah.
So what I do with this for all my photo etch, for all my clear parts, like with this car that I'm doing, I'll put the can once I polish the windscreen. I'll put it in, put a couple of little drops on the inside and smooth it out. This will dry crystal clear. You won't see it, and you'll have a hell of a time getting that canopy out.
And that's Future.
This is Future.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So there's a whole new. I can see people out there now that you're mentioning Future now, not only as a clear cover, but now as a glue as well. They'll be going.
I'll tell you what, this stuff here, if you put you know how like with the CA glue, you'll glue something on. If you hit it the wrong way, you'll knock it off.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen with this.
Yeah. Gil's just let my secret weapon out the back.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, Gordon.
So how much Future we talking about? You leave
this
10 mils, 20 mils.
Do you see what's in there? This is one of those. I don't know. Jesus, I can't.
It's like your ink. It's like the ink size canister.
This is one of those little bottles from Badger paint bottles.
Yeah.
You can get, I don't know. I wouldn't put it in plastic. You know, get yourself a little glass jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Tamiya. You can use an old Tamiya bottle.
Yeah.
One of these. You know, you clean it out, wash it out real good. You can use one of these.
Yeah.
And you can fill it right to where that line is, right there, the paper.
Yeah.
And just
leave the lid off.
Leave the lid off. Just put it away somewhere. Leave the lid off. Let it sit there for, I don't know, a week. Forget about it for about a week. And you come back and it's a gel. And once it becomes a gel, you cap it. And this is almost 7 years old.
And once you put the lid on, you're okay.
You're okay. It's never going to go off.
Wow.
That what Gil's using, right? At one time, that's all I used to use. Flip it over, Mark. with the Microsoft, the one that Josh can't get on with.
Yeah,
Right.
I have that too. I have it right up there. Yep.
Right,
I
but
hate that stuff. I cannot get that stuff to work.
Why? What's wrong with it? I don't.
that method that Gil's on about with using that's what we get in the UK.
Just put it in a bottle, let it sit. It turns to gel.
Yeah.
That's an old bottle, Gordon, isn't it?
That's one of the new ones.
I'll tell you
Really?
what, the reason you're having a hard time, I have that stuff too. It takes forever to dry.
Yeah.
With this stuff, you put a dab on there, you put that canopy or whatever on there, it ain't moving. Once it's not totally sealed yet. The next day you come back, it's sealed. But you put a dab of this on there, as thick as it is, and you stick that in there. Like say, when I go to do this, I'll put the canopy in there or the windscreen in there, and right up on the top here, I'll put a drop there and a drop here, maybe down up in here where you can't see it, and just hold it for a second and then let it go, and then I'll leave it alone. And then
That's the one I've got at the moment. I don't know whether. Let me
what's
just.
your camera, Mark? You going to show us one?
That's the one I've got.
Yeah,
That's future.
yeah. We get different. It's see, Mark's got that one. I've got that one. It's the same stuff,
Oh, okay.
but it's just in a different bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I don't think ours is as clear as yours. Ours is more of a misty solution.
Oh no, that's clear. The one that Gordon's got is clear.
Yeah, this one isn't though.
The one you want is the one that Gordon has in his hand right now.
Yeah.
Well, I got this years ago. Not years, probably about a year and a half ago. And that's what it was at that time. This is what future was.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, it's a milky solution, very much like. Sorry,
It's like a bit like gauzy.
But I'll tell you what,
exactly like gauzy.
if you put that in a glass jar, if it's milky, it's gonna dry. It's gonna gel milky. Now, same thing with this. Look, it's milky. If you look at that, it's milky.
Yeah,
That's how it dried. It was crystal clear, but it dried milk. But when you put this on and it dries, it's going to be crystal clear. Now, I don't use this as a finish. I use it as a glue.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what it's ideal for. Photo etch parts. Because it's same as Gil says, if you glue a photo etch part on with the super glue, it's got a very low shear tolerance. So you tap it, ping, and it's gone.
Yep, exactly.
yeah.
It absorbs the shock. And the best part, the reason I like using that as well, is if you're doing an instrument panel and you've got glass dials, right, it dries crystal clear, glues your parts together, and where your instrument dial shows through, it's crystal clear and really shiny.
Yeah, I know. I've spent £12 this week on a bottle of super glue that apparently
Switch the camera.
Works well with photo etch. So this week I've been working with photo etch a lot on the A6. Bear with me a minute and nothing I got worked. So I had to, where have I put it? I had to go out and buy some new super glue that would apparently work better.
Rubberized super glue.
Yeah, I can't find where I put it now.
Probably on your benchmark.
I don't think it is because I packed everything away when Henry would come round. Just bear with me. Keep talking among yourselves there a minute there it is. So I ended up buying this. To be honest, I haven't really been able to give it a proper test. But I watched the video and if I can get this in focus. apparently they reckoned that this stuff was better than anything else that was out there. So I went with it because I literally have tried everything else, and verdict's not out on this yet. I haven't because I didn't want to waste the super glue I'd got open, which was the regular cheap stuff that everyone else gets. So I'll give you an update on that in a few weeks when I've had a chance to actually try it.
Here's the other thing about super glue that people don't understand. That stuff has a shelf life.
Yeah.
You buy it at the store, it's already, the shelf life is already ticking on it once you get it, before you even open it. Once you open it, and air gets in it, the clock starts ticking on it.
Yeah.
That's why I used to buy those real big from Mark's, what do you call it? The Smith ones. The real big bottles.
Yeah, Industries ones, yeah.
I had a whole bunch of them. I go to use brand new, never been opened, hard as a rock.
Yeah.
They will go off. That's the thing about CA glue. When people say, "Oh, this one sucks. I've had it for 6 months and now it don't want to work." It don't work because it's banned. It went off. It's no good.
Yeah.
Throw it away.
We've done this before, and the thing is, you need to keep them in the dark. You need to keep.
Yeah, you need to keep them out of light. Any light, even these lights. Will I've got some in front of me. This is the clock is already ticking on this one. So
yeah.
That's
the minute you've opened it and oxygen has got in, you need to
see, like with the 3D printed figures I buy now. I don't use CA glue to glue them together anymore. I use a 2-part epoxy, a resin epoxy, 2-part epoxy.
Yeah.
And that's what I use to put them together now, because that will not go off. And then I'll tell you what, once I do that and it bonds, it ain't coming apart. It's not versus now the CA glue is great. It's a great product. But if you've had it on your shelf longer than 2 months,
My super glue lives in the fridge.
When I first started modeling, I bought loads of glue. I just thought I bought loads of it. And I had so much super glue, it was unbelievable. I got so many different brands. And then after a while, I just kept trying them, and they would be packed up, they'd be solid, there'd be nothing in there. And it wasn't until then that I started to learn that there's something not right here. So I started looking into it, and the minute you've opened them, the oxygen has got in, and it doesn't matter even if you've just broke the seal. The minute oxygen has crept into that bottle,
that's it.
Like Neil said, the time is going.
Yep, the clock is ticking on them.
You've got to. The only thing you can do is store them somewhere dark, somewhere cold, and that will help prevent them from going off sooner. But if you're like most people and you've got them in a drawer in your workspace, they're going to go off very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yep. Now that what Mark did with that canopy, you can also do when you're polishing up a paint job.
Yeah,
it's the same principle, and it takes time. Don't press down too hard like on the canopy or a paint job. Just let the paper do the work, and never do it in the same direction all the time. So if you're going back and forth like this here, you're trying to polish something up, you're trying to get scratch out, you're introducing other fine scratches. So now if you went horizontal, then now you come over and you go vertical.
Yeah, I probably should have gone in a few different ways when I've done
that. But I mean, the principle is there, because you could see the result in 10 minutes. Look at what you did with that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you spending an hour, half hour, whatever it is, buffing that out? It'd be like water, crystal clear. You know, it just takes time. It just takes time.
No. There we go. So the other thing I was hoping to do tonight, we haven't had any updates on what's happening with the MiG, with the not MiG, sorry, with the AK fiasco that happened on our last.
It's gotten quiet. They look, like I said, if you don't mind me, like I said in the beginning, when all that was going on, they screwed up pretty bad, and then they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Some people are going to take that to heart. Oh, I'm never going to do that, but they don't understand one thing. There's a couple of things that you have to understand. Yes, they made a mistake. They tried to clean it up. If you boycott that paint, now you're messing around with people's livelihoods. Now you have people that work there. You're messing the distributors. Like people like here. I'll give you an example. Brett Margaret. He sells at High Altitude Hobbies here in the States, in Colorado. He's got a $10,000 investment in it. I would assume, you know, all that paint, you know, and he sells it.
Yeah.
Now he can't get rid of it. You're not only hurting AK, you're hurting the guys that sell the stuff.
Yeah.
I like the paint. I got them right here. I've been testing them. I'm going to do a video on them. There was a little learning curve, but you got to use their thinner. You know, I tried different thinners and it just didn't work. I have to use their thinner. I like the paint. It lays down really nice. It's durable. You know, it's a little bit more durable than Vallejo. Now, Vallejo's got 1,000 different colors. I love me some Vallejo. But this stuff is great. The AK, all the brouhaha about it, you know, this cancel culture, I'm not a part of that. I don't agree with it, you know. Let's see what they do. You know.
Yeah, it was never my intention to. I'm aware that people, you know, people have got their livelihoods involved in some aspects of that, and that was never my intention to hurt anybody like that. I just felt at the time that it was ill-advised what they'd done.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just I just thought there might have been some more information come out of there other than there's been nothing.
Yeah, same as Gil says, it's got extremely quiet.
Well, I think the whole thing is let it die down. You know, it's you know, they realize they screwed up. Now let the brouhaha die down. You know, and like they said, you know, we'll see what happens. They said any proceeds of that book are going to charity. There it is. You know.
Well, yeah, they did say that. They did say the proceeds of the book would go to.
Yeah, and I think that that in and of itself should have calmed everything. Whoever okayed that probably got a good damn talking to, if it wasn't the main, you know, dude, and they probably realized, oops, you know, this was something we shouldn't have done, and let's move on.
I still think it was a genuine mistake.
I think they had the good intentions. I think the way they went about doing it was pretty disgusting. You know, they didn't realize the backlash they were going to get from it. And you know, had they put a disclaimer, now this is if they would have put a disclaimer in the beginning of that video explaining why they were doing this, you wouldn't have seen the backlash. I don't think, but because and what made it worse, they did 3 apologies.
So hold on a second there. Just I hate to keep dragging this up, but what disclaimer could you possibly put?
Well, look,
against
I understand they wanted to bring, from what you read in the last statement, they wanted to bring attention to the atrocities that are happening.
Yeah.
And the inhumanity of this kind of stuff. and to tell you do not forget history, because
Right.
you know that if had they put a disclaimer up,
Heck, if they would have said that, it would have worked.
had they put a disclaimer of saying that they were trying to bring to light the inhumanity of man, what we do with each other, the human rights violations, blah blah. I mean, it still was kind of shady to do it for a modeling company or a paint company. That was pretty shady. So I wouldn't have done it to begin with. But if you're gonna do something like that, look, this is the disclaimer. We don't agree with it. We just want to bring this to light, to et cetera, et cetera. I can't remember verbatim what the last apology was.
No, I can't.
In that apology, he explained why they did it. Had he used that in the beginning of the video, I think it would have calmed. You still would have gotten some backlash, because there's no way. Why would you do something like this to sell a book? I get it.
When you say he, who are you referring to?
The head of the company. Because they had to have somebody up at the top, he, she, whoever, had to have okayed it. When I'm referring to he, I'm referring to that apology by Fernando Vallejo.
Yeah.
The last one. That's who I'm calling he.
Right. I'm sorry, I didn't know who done it.
So that's who I'm referring to as he. Was the last apology by Fernando Vallejo. Had he used that apology, or that there's a part in there, and again, I don't remember it verbatim, but I know the gist of it. Of why he explained why he thought it was a good, did it. Had he used that in the beginning of that video, or as a disclaimer, in a text before he showed that video, then I don't think the brouhaha would have been as bad. I think you were still gonna get it. You were still going to get it because it's tasteless. I mean, it's pretty ignorant to use something like that. But that being said, the first apology was online, was in a forum, and it was basically saying, fuck you. The second apology, they tried to clean up the first one. And it took a third one to finally explain and understand the gravity of what they had done.
Yeah. I think somebody else got involved then in that third one, didn't they?
Well, that came from the very top.
Yeah, you could tell that.
That came from the man signing the checks. That came from the very top.
The first two were like the underboss maybe saying, "Oh, let's sort this out." And then finally, you could tell that somebody important got involved in that last.
That came from the very top. It was from the big boss.
So anyway, there we go. That's our show for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I should really put my camera back up a bit so you can at least see me. And we'll see you again next week. I think next time we'll do paint. As you know, we've been discussing tonight about priming and getting a good finish on paint. I think maybe next week will be the time that we look at how you do that. Maybe we can get an example or something together. I think that'll be a good way to go. So until then, I'm going to say goodbye, and my friends are going to say goodbye. I think.
Goodbye, all. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Leaving.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.